There we go. Okay. Make sure this is set correctly. All right. Warning: F bombs are going to be dropped. Um, don't freak out. You didn't get a notification, people. I didn't send it. This is the first time I'm doing it on what hopefully will become a regular time frame. Even though I didn't send any notifications out, somebody's already here. Hey there, troll. How you doing? Let's see. Yes, it is live, troll. Thank you. And DM Foss got somehow found out about this as well. You guys must be this must be your days off. Um, and hey there, DM Foss. I think I'm pronouncing it correctly. You got Great Sky Troll says I got a notification. I hadn't intended for notifications to go out. All right, so election shenanigans. I live in what we locally call Little California, Washoe County. Okay, there, I said it. I'm in Washoe County, Nevada. Uh, it the older locals call it Little California because we're right on the California border, and actually our electric utility is California. Great, and there's there are a lot of Cali expats around here. Guilty. Um, Now, most of us came here to get away from uh, no mandate, mostly. Moonbeam was not as bad, but he wasn't great either. Um, we're really tired of this bullshit, right? We're locking up this entire state is being held hostage by this election, and I'm speaking for myself. I'd rather get the execution done and over with. Right? The hardest part of an execution for the condemned is waiting for them to throw the switch. We know what's coming. Could you just get it over with already? But it's not getting over with. And that's becoming very frustrating. All right, I'm going to catch up on chat real quick. DM Foss says he took this week off just in case. That was a good idea. Troll says, remember the 5th of November, the Democrats' treasonous plot. I get that reference. I know that reference. It's a gunpowder plot. And yeah, well, yeah. Um, you notice the title says election shenanigans. It's not just one side or the other doing it, but one side or the other is doing a whole lot more of it. Right? This is the one that really made me wonder what the hell's going to happen next. This is about, well, it was just over a month and a half ago. Ooh, wow. Tim Pool did a video where he showed the 5 envelopes he'd received, all of them ballots, all of them addressed to people that no longer lived at his address. Oh, shit. The fix is already in. We know it now. Can't prove it's a deliberate fix, but the fix is in. There's another video, and I'm sorry, I don't remember her name. There's a lady who showed that she had a ballot envelope, and on the back it said R, number, R number. And then she showed what she called her brother's ballot, which was number D number. This tells someone somewhere that One of them's a Republican and one of them's a Democrat. Which one do you think she thought was going to disappear? Here's a hint. Hers had the R on back. You know what? That's okay. We've known this was coming. We all knew this was coming. Granted, I really did think it would be 45-5, and now it's literally down to my state finally deciding that they're going to do that they're going to count the ballots and waiting for them to throw the switch because we know the fix is in. We've known that around here for a while. All right. I've got Republican friends, I've got Democrat friends, I'm independent. But I've got friends on both sides who are saying, yeah, we know. My D friends don't talk about, and it's so great, but I've heard other Ds say, we're going to stuff ballots. The most popular version is somebody's registered in 2-3 states. They vote in all 3 states because that's one of those things where it's legal and it's illegal, right? If you're not voting on the national elections in all 3 states, it's, well, flat face, it is illegal, but the states ignore it. You can't vote for the president 3 times. That's actually illegal. But if you vote for 3 different governors, people just like, well, whatever. But if you go back and do something else, then it becomes a problem. If you get caught, nobody ever gets caught. That's the truth. Nobody ever gets caught. There's been several stories about Republicans or right wingers positioning outside of polling stations to intimidate voters, but those accusations are on both sides. Left wingers are being accused of it as well, and in particular, BLM has been proven to have done it once now already with guns. That's very disturbing. Right. Skytroll says burning ballots, magic ballots, zombie voting, Sharpies. Okay, I'm going to come back to Sharpies in particular. No observers allowed in media blackout and tech companies deciding what is not happening. El Toro. Oh, bullshit. All right. I'm going to go over this list. Burning ballots. That we know that happened once. It was a ballot box in Pennsylvania, I think. They said that they say there was 5 that were not recoverable. Well, yeah, I'm throwing a flag on that play. It was only 5. How? How about the others that were so comprehensively destroyed you couldn't identify them as having been ballots? Come on, guys. You think that story's going to wash? Magic ballots. Boxes of ballots appearing out of nowhere magically. For those of you that know of her, Exile Princess now actually has community comments about that. I think she said it was Pennsylvania. Zombie voting. Yeah. Dead men can't vote twice in elections. That's just a navigational mnemonic. Sharpies. I want to bash on Sharpies for Trump for a long, long second. This is not a conspiracy theory. This is a proven fact. This did happen, and it's actually being investigated, possibly as a criminal case, at least down in Arizona, and Maricopa County in particular. There is accusations that Sharpies were handed out by election officials, which would make the ballots unreadable or unusable somehow. I forgot the exact words. That was actually, I think that was Exile as well. All those votes are zeroed out. Now, somebody in the chat, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think Arizona at the end of the day did carry Donnie, but that's still illegal. It is illegal to tamper with a ballot. It is also illegal, if you know better, give people a Sharpie and say, fill your ballot out with this, knowing that it won't read. All right, that's ballot tampering. That individual, I don't care who he is, that individual belongs in prison. That's not ballot stopping. It's the exact opposite, which isn't even a term yet. Maybe we'll call it Trump voting. I don't know. This is ridiculous. We're all being held hostage because A, my state isn't going to get shit together. And B, um, we know that there's fraud going on. All right. One guy, and this is a leftist, by the way, holding up 5 ballots saying, this is what I got in the mail. Who do you think you're fooling? I'm also going to let y'all in on a little secret. I have not voted since 2000, not in the presidential elections. Very mysteriously, I get my ballots, when I get them at all, a week after the election. Wonder how that happens. Could it be that A, I'm registered independent, and B, that in 2000, 2004, 2008, and 2012, I was in the military and out of state? Very strange how that happens. Military out of state just happens to get their ballots a week after the election. I'm really, really pissed about that 2008 one because the cancellation stamp read the day before the election. Or is it the day after the election? I forgot. 2014 or 2012, rather, I didn't even get it. A week before the election, I got a phone call saying I had to report for jury duty. I'm military out of state. I called them up like day after I got the notice, out of state, by the way. I call them up and I say, yeah, I can't report for jury duty because I'm military out of state. And this little bitch on the phone says, oh, well, we take that from voter registration. So if you're not going to come to jury duty, we'll unenroll you. Wait, I'm military out of state. Are you listening to me? We'll unenroll you. She hung up on me. That's not exactly the way it went. It went for about 2 minutes of me saying, I'm military out of state. We're going to unenroll you. But she did hang up on me because I was about to say, put your supervisor on. And actually, I was click. She knew what was coming. Oh, right. Because I did ask if I had to speak to a supervisor. Just a little bit before that. Do I have to speak to a supervisor or something? We're going to unenroll you. Put the click. Foss says there are people that said they were told they had to use Sharpies. I believe you, and I know it's true. All right. Bare minimum, we can prove that happened down in Maricopa. Did it happen other places? I'm not about to say it didn't. No way. Even when it's proven it didn't happen, I'm still going to say, did you really find everybody? Did you really go door to door and ask every single registered voter, were you told you had to use a Sharpie? That's not going to happen. And even if it did, let's just go a little crazy here. And that everybody in that state, county, whatever, said, oh, no, that didn't happen to me. How many of them were told that and weren't paying attention and missed it? They were just given the Sharpie and told, here you go. This is Sharpie. Oh, yeah, that's what you have to use that to get it blacked in right. Oh, okay. Here you go. And then they forgot about it. How many of them. Well, no, let's back it up. How many were given the Sharpie, didn't even notice, and filled it out? Because you're not going to say anything unless you notice. 90% of the time, the way you're, well, 75% of the time, the way you're going to notice is you're going to see at the top of the ballot, do not fill out in Sharpie, and actually be reading the whole ballot because you intend to vote on everything. So, yeah, boss, I absolutely believe you. You will never convince me that that's not true, that people, nobody anywhere was told they had to fill it out that way. The worst part about this is it's all unnecessary. All right, we're being held hostage because one group definitely wants the US to go a direction. When I was going through CCC, when I was in college, the first time or second, um, I was taking a religions class, um, Western religions. Yeah, it must have been Western religions because the other class was entitled Eastern religions. The instructor, I can't remember his first name, but I remember his last name was Anderson. And he was a chaplain in his own right, but he wouldn't talk about in what religion or what church. Um, right. I lost my train of thought there. Give me a second while I get it back on the rails. Uh, Troll says I'm in Georgia and Trump everywhere but ATL and Athens. Really? Okay. I'm a little surprised by Athens. Atlanta, not a surprise. Athens, yeah. The info says there's a UPS whistleblower in Michigan that says they were told to backdate ballots mailed late with November 3rd stamps. Uh, shit. And I'm not surprised. Troll says Athens is a college town. Well, it kind of explains it. Anyway, oh, where I was going with that class. Mr. Anderson tells us that, and I kind of guess a little bit of where his faith is here. He described the U.S., quote, as the lighthouse on the hill or the light on the hill. That's a direct allegory to Christian, specifically religious beliefs about the only way to find sanctuary is to look for the light on the hill and go towards the light. Not that light. Now, for those of you that forget, I was a Coast Guardsman, and my first unit was a buoy tender. I was at that buoy tender 2-3 years before I took this class. I'm already familiar with the concept of the light on the hill because I dealt with the light on the hill. I actually, part of my asbestos exposure was an old lighthouse that was no longer manned. There was partially because there was asbestos and lead everywhere in the building, in the lighthouse in particular. Wearing that mask was making it really hard to breathe. So I had to pull the mask up, get a big, deep breath of air, and then put the mask back on, and then I'd go back to work. I think that's part of my asbestos exposure. Um, so the idea of the light on the hill or the lighthouse, totally, I totally understand. And there are people that want that light extinguished. They want the lighthouse itself torn down. You, Everybody in chat so far is very familiar with me, so you know which group I'm talking about. The DNC is just their, what is it, useful idiots? Or maybe useless idiots, I don't know. Okay, catching up. Troll says, I saw that one. I assume that's referring to the whistleblower in Michigan. And Foss says, James O'Keefe has the whistleblower story. Good to know. Troll says, puppets. Yeah. Yeah. Dance on the little strings. Oh. Foss says, I used to work in the Navy shipyard in Bremerton, removing hazardous materials from subs when they were cut up. If y'all think asbestos and lead is the worst on those ships, no. There are things on those ships that are so toxic they cannot be touched again for 1,000 years, or maybe it's 100 years, and can never be touched with the bare hand. I hope you had all the proper gear. I hope they gave you all the proper gear. So yeah, we know that the shenanigans are going on. How bad is it? I don't know. Nobody knows. We're never really going to know, because at bare minimum, some of the people behind it are going to die, even of absolutely anti suspicious circumstances, before they give up their secret. Right? I know some secrets. Um, I served in the military, so I have seen at least a few secret things that I'm going to take to my grave and beyond. When I'm standing at the pearly gates, I'm not even going to tell St. Peter. When I go through the gates, I'm never going to tell anybody. There's a couple of things I've tried really hard to forget so that I could never tell anybody. I can give an example. I was at a location that the general public is never, ever going to be allowed to be there. You go in onto this piece of dirt as general public, you will be shot. All right. There's a couple of people there. They had their name tags or name tapes on. And I did notice one, and Hendricks or Henderson or Hanson or Hans something. I saw myself noticing it, and oh, shit, I don't want to know that. So I worked really hard to forget what I saw. And I still remember it was a Hans something. Pretty sure it was a Hans something. Troll says, really bad. Yeah. Boss, I'm gonna remove that. I saw it. Okay, but I'm going to remove that. No, neither one of those. Shit. Well, I guess I'm not, because there is no way to just remove it. I'm not going to amplify that though. I'll hide the chat afterwards. It's bad enough I throw myself under a bus. I'm not going to let you throw yourselves under a bus just because I happen to be going there myself. I said when I'm standing at the pearly gates, I didn't say I'm actually going through. You know what I mean? Oh, thank you, Foss. Thank you. Um, yeah, I'm not getting through the gates. You know what I mean? Um, so yeah, these people that worked so hard to rig the elections, and I said rig. Fuck you. I said rig. Um, they're going to take those secrets to their grave, and I'm sure some of them have already gone to it. Not this year, not last year, but probably a couple of years ago, excuse me, saying, I know what I did and it was for the greater good. No, it actually wasn't. Listen, I'd rather lose honestly than win dishonestly either way. All right. Y'all know how I am about any kind of lie. Well, this is the reason. These lies create all this needless confusion and drama. All right. Because we all know the lie. Even the people who are willfully ignorant, going out of their way to not find out these things, they know. In their heart, they know. Hmm, you know, was candidate Jones really such a great guy in retrospect? No, 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 no. It's the elections going on, and Jones is their party. Let's call him the Smith party, because I'm not picking on either side, really. Believe it or not, I'm going to be picking on some people later, but not yet. So, uh, Chuck Jones of the Smith party, everybody knew he was kind of not really that awesome a guy. Maybe he had some background that everybody knew about, but nobody really wanted to talk about. And everybody who was his supporter went out of their way to not hear about this, but they knew in their heart, yeah, Chuck Chuck was kind of an interesting guy. Now here we are 6 months after the election, and Chuck's been busted for improper gratuities or having improper types of photographs on his laptop or this or that, or one of his staffers was. Now, I'm going to say something here that y'all will be just getting blown away to hear about. I said I'm independent. I'm not R or D. I walked away from the Republican Party in the late 90s over the absolutely insane bullshit that they were pulling at the time. Um, I was like, I will never vote for a Republican again in my life after this, right? Of course, I didn't vote on much of anything after that, thanks to my county clerk at the time. And now here we are. Well, let's back it up actually to 2012, 2008 rather. And there's this. I'm actually Bush Jr.'s in the White House, and I'm like, yeah, that's not too bad. I'm working security. I'm seeing this beautiful housing project, uh, beautiful condominium project going in across the street. Well, that's a pretty good sign. Well, then I read that three stock exchanges in two countries crashed earlier or late the day before, I think it was, on fears of the U.S. economy. It's like, oh, I think maybe I'll consider a Democrat this year, right? 2 days later is when Barack said that he was going to travel to Iran to as a senator. So that gives you a time frame. As a senator, he was going to travel to Iran to talk peace with Iran. Oh, that's treasonous. The president sends people to talk to foreign countries, or he does it himself if he has to. U.S. senators, especially sitting senators, don't go on their own. They might be sent. That's one thing. He wasn't asked to go. He did that on his own. That was the moment I said to myself, I'm not voting for any Democrat this year. No way. Sure enough, I didn't vote for anybody that year either. Okay. And it's just gotten worse and worse and worse since then. Um, the nuke deal with Iran. I'm looking at it at the time saying, this is a pile of shit. What are you doing? Hillary's supposed to come in. We all knew blow away election, like 45 states out of 50 is gonna carry Hillary. Wake up the next morning. So who won the? This is me. So who won the election last night? My manager says Trump. Uh, oh, me and my girlfriend, we had gone to sleep early that night, expecting Hillary to win. And as I put it at the time, I don't want to witness the execution. Put a blindfold. I think I said something about a blindfold. And then the next morning we wake up and there we are. Troll says, I go scorched earth on liars and gaslighting. Well, Troll, we should talk somewhere else about a mutual acquaintance. And in your case, former fandom. Yeah, there's an issue there. You know what I mean? All right. So, yeah, this has been coming for years. And I'm going to let you in on a little secret. Oh, my theory, at least. Um, to control the national vote, you only need to control maybe as many as 24 county clerks. If you can control 2 or 3 particular county clerks in 3 or 4 states, and I'm going to say straight up, California, Texas, Florida are 3 of them. You can control the national elections. In California, I know it's the Los Angeles counties, because remember, Los Angeles Basin is not just one county. The Bay Area counties, remember, Bay Area is not just San Francisco. In Texas, it's the Houston and Dallas counties. I don't remember what counties those are. Florida, it's Broward County, I think. Go back to California. You control San Francisco. Don't worry about it. You don't need to do anything there. Just cruise on autopilot. Los Angeles County, you'll never ever get anybody to believe that Orange County voted blue. What you do is you control the other, I think it's 4 counties in the basin. And you don't even have to really rig the vote. All you have to do is make sure that the red does not win, right? Send out ballots late, uh, put them in a locker and forget about them, this, that, whatever. They only have to carry that county by literally 1 vote. And the blue passes. Los Angeles counties. You don't even have to control all 5 of them. If you can get the one biggest one, that's all you really need. And I think that's Los Angeles County proper. Texas, Houston is really purple. Dallas is actually kind of red. Florida, Broward County is actually a lot redder than people seem to think. All you have to do is lock up those counties and prevent the red from passing to make sure the blue does. California's 55 electoral votes. Texas, I think, is 39. Florida is 30 something. Those are big numbers when you're talking about such a small total. 55 is almost 1/5 of the way to 270 anyway. And you can ignore let Alaska go. Hell, they could let Hawaii go. Hawaii's, I think, 3 votes. 4, excuse me. But you need the California, Texas, Florida, New York, and one other. And then the rest, you can just let them go the way they go. Because who cares? It's not going to be enough to make up the difference. All you need is one corrupt person in those county clerk's offices. And hell, California has plenty of them. All right. Troll. Yeah, I think you know who I'm talking about. Foss. Unfortunately, I was a neocon most of my life. Really? You must not be that old. It's been the last 5 years that I have reevaluated what I believe and realized how wrong I've been. All extremism is bad. Uh, so yeah, just roll it back and ask yourself, is this really true? Yes, 2 + 2 still equals 4, but is the rest of this true? Something to consider. Troll says Hawaii is a literal welfare state. Yeah, I've heard that. I don't. I actually don't know anything about it. I've never even passed through Hawaii, at least before I was born. Boss says I'm 49. Neocons came into being with the rise of Bush Jr. Or did somebody lie to me? I don't like people who lie to me, even if it was almost 20 years ago. Ah, Troll says life does that. Lol. Oh, I'm sorry. DM Foss says the liberals are pissed at the Cubans in Florida. You mad, brah? Liberals say they are white now. Okay, boomer. You go on believing that they're white. I live in reality, so. And Boss, let's back things up just a hair. Is it the liberals or is it the leftists? And that's a fair question. Boss says I assume he means neocons. Kind of started with Reagan. Okay, I'll take that. I will take that. Um. Oh well, I remember Reagan. Believe it or not, I'm 44, and I remember Carter as president and hearing it as words that I didn't quite understand. But I also remember hearing people call each other Nixon as some sort of slur. So, Troll, have a good day. Go do your job or whatever it is you need to do. And carry on. So anyway, Foss, I remember the Nixon as a slur. I also remember hippie as a slur. So I kind of think maybe it started a little bit. The process started before Reagan. The next 4 years, once my state finally gets its shit together, um, here's what you're going to see. You're going to see murders and rapes live streamed, and the police are powerless to do anything about it. Because if they do go arrest this guy, they are going to be arrested for violating his civil rights. Even when they actually do know who it is, they're going to be investigated, maybe not arrested, um, for violating their civil rights. I know Troll's old enough to remember this. I now know Foss is old enough to remember this. If you thought the King riots were crazy, you ain't seen shit. You thought it was Wisconsin, Minneapolis. If you thought the Minneapolis riots were crazy, you ain't seen shit yet. When Washington, D.C. is burning, that's when you'll realize just how crazy it really got. Now, I'm not going to say all of Washington, D.C. is going to burn to the ground. I can't even say most of Washington, D.C. is going to burn to the ground. But when Washington itself is on fire, that's when you will realize fucking Kerry was right. The Spurg, the rhymes with forget, Spurg was right. Until then, you're not going to believe anything. Even Reiner 1-7, as it's going on, people are not going to believe it's really as bad as they say. Was it really 20 mass shootings over 6 states? No. Was it really coordinated? No. Or 8 states or 25 shootings or 15 or whatever it was. People are still going to believe, no, it wasn't that. When the next round of coronavirus comes out and it mysteriously hits like 90% of the countries on Earth all within a week, you're still not going to believe it. When Washington, D.C. is burning to the ground, then people will believe me. Boss says I still use hippie as a slur. Yeah. Well, yeah, it is. You dirty hippie. I'm going to turn off the camera for just a second because I had to pop my neck and people don't like it. That is a little gift of my service. Yay, me. The things you really need to do to get ready for what's about to happen. First, fortify your home to the best of your ability. The last thing you need is somebody breaking in the middle of the night. It's as simple as that. Yeah, get a gun and be ready to use it. Know how to use it. If you have to do an 80% and finish it yourself, do an 80% and finish it yourself. It doesn't have to be pretty, it has to work. I know they make Glocks in 80. I know they make ARs in 80. I know AKs sometimes have build parties, so you might want to check into that. Get it and be ready to use it. Y'all know that I sleep with brass knuckles on because if somebody does get through my doors without me noticing, without waking me up, and that could happen, and they get to me, at least I have something to hit them with and force them back until I can get to my gun. This actually lies next to me in a little pocket. Don't keep it under my pillow. Believe it or not, that's not safe. Alpine Gulch, that's the name I recognize. Howdy from Wyoming. You're not worried there. Got to guess as to why. Short version. Wyoming. Alpine, if you want to catch up to where we are, go back to 0 minutes, put it at 2 times speed. 1.5 maybe. So yeah, get a gun, be ready to use it. If you can't get the perfect gun, get one. Anything. And just assume that everybody out there could be bad. Not saying everyone out there is bad, and if you start shooting people randomly, you're wrong. All right. Little secret is Dataslav still has restrictions for automatic, uh, continuous feed, belt fed, incendiary and explosive, and, well, flamethrowers, which is incendiary, because they're non-specific. You open fire with an AK-47 or M16, you're going to hit whoever you hit. Semi-auto only. You actually do have to think about each shot. You can't just panic and hold the trigger back and hit everybody. Also, there's fewer things to go wrong. Hit the gun, be ready to use it. If you can get body armor, get body armor. I really hate to have to be the one to say this. I really hate saying this. But for the next couple of years, we're all basically going to have to act like another 9/11 is coming, because it is. And actually, it's going to make 9/11 look worse, because at least 9/11, if you didn't live in New York, you were safe. It was three big bombs. This is going to be thousands of little bombs all over the place. Um, Fortify your house as best you can. Get body armor. Get a gun. Be ready to use it. um, the Be rest assured that it's going to get worse than it is at this point. Because remember, success builds on success. Now that they've repaired their infrastructure that got Barack into office to begin with, whatever happened in 2016 that disrupted their plan, they've repaired that. And granted, Texas stayed fallen, but they managed to repair it enough to get their boy back into office, get Joe back into office. Success builds on success. They're going to start picking off those county clerks that they know they need and they know are vulnerable. All right, they're going to find something in the Dallas and Houston county clerk's office that they can pick those guys off, make them resign, send them to prison. They can't shoot them. I'm going to go there. You shoot an elected public official, all hell breaks loose. 50 years later, 60 years later, people are still saying Kennedy assassination was this big conspiracy, even though every conspiracy has been disproven. Pick off, if you assassinate a county clerk, especially one that, as of today's, you heard, hey, they might actually target him. That will create even more conspiracy theory. Hell, there's conspiracy theory, and I'm kind of one of them, about the Alito, excuse me, Scalia death. Very mysterious that he had a heart attack the way he did. Very mysterious. Where are we at for time? 45 minutes. All right. So yeah, they are not going to dare assassinate these people, but they're going to make them resign, or they're going to send them to prison, or they're going to find something to get these people out of the way so they can put their own people in, and make sure that next time around, Texas goes blue, Florida goes blue, New York and New Jersey did go blue. California went blue, but they're going to make sure that they got Los Angeles locked up like a drum. I'm interested in comments to hear what state you think, what the other two states y'all think would be the big targets. Pennsylvania going red this time. is a really freakish thing. I don't think they're going to worry about it. Florida going blue was a freakish thing. So was Florida or Virginia rather? Virginia going blue. It's a very freakish thing. So was Virginia one of them? Maybe. Um, what else? Oh, stock up enough water in your house and keep it rotated out for a 2 day electricity off, water off, sewage off, everything off, all utilities shut down catastrophe, especially if you live in a big city where that's what you depend upon. Dean Foss, most people don't realize Bloomberg is backing the smaller offices like state. Oh, excuse me. Most people don't realize that Bloomberg is backing the smaller offices like state AGs, insurance commissioners. Those positions can have an effect. Yeah, state AG, that's a good one. Those county clerks are absolutely critical. But if you want to get those county clerks out, you need to own the AG office. Just saying. That's the way it is. All right. What can we do about this year? Not much. I'm sorry. There's really nothing we can do except endure it for a couple of years and just dig and dig and dig at those discrepancies. Like how did 2,000 ballots just mysteriously reappear from behind or from a locker, which you call closet, I call locker? How did those ballots just mysteriously reappear out of nowhere? All right. And why was this county clerk given money by this group during his campaign? Just saying. And what is this group? Where did their money come from? Where did their money come from? Alpine Gulch, Dick Cheney still rules the world. Dick Cheney didn't even rule that White House staff when he was there. He shot a judge at that hunting club at the Supreme Court Justice Scalia died at. I did not know that Justice Scalia died at the same hunting club. That is very interesting. Okay. Gulch is correct. Dick Cheney really did shoot somebody. All right. And there's memes and comedy videos about it. Isn't there one involving the music from Benny Hill show? First of all, the man did not die. And was he a judge? I thought he was a groundskeeper, but either way, excuse me. The man didn't die. And there's a lot about that story that I don't think we're all being told the whole truth, including, yeah, you know what? You need to check downrange before you pull the trigger. You also need to check uprange to see if the range is safe. There was a lot about that day that a lot of people should have been in trouble, including a couple Secret Service agents. I'm just saying. Dick Cheney does not rule the world. He didn't even rule the White House staff while he was there. All right. He was very important. He wasn't very influential, but at the end of the day, we're going to see the first time ever, second time ever, the vice president has more actual power than the president. I'm just going there. Democrats have already talked about 25th Amendment. They weren't talking about Donnie. It's as simple as that. Preparations for this coming crisis. You can get a generator, get it. If you live in an apartment building, you cannot get a generator. Try and get some solar panels. put them up in your windows, and run those during the day to keep at least some bare electricity running. Do not lock yourself up in your house. Don't be like me, because I'm not even going to lie. A little bit of my paranoia comes from being locked up in my house because I had nowhere else to go for like 2 years. And that sort of builds on paranoia. Get out of your house. Just get out. Go see a movie or something. I just went to see Alita uh, last week, last Friday. I went to see Alita last Friday. I'm going to go see another movie 2 weeks from now, and I'm waiting for The Hunt to come back out. So I went and saw Ninja Girl flick that I swore I wasn't going to watch. Went and watched it anyways. And a cute kids movie. Not going to say which one, but it is. And The Hunt, because I really, really want to support The Hunt. Alpine Gulch. Cheney is deep state, been involved in all White House staff since the beginning of his career. I don't know about the first part, but I do know the second part is true. And he's said this on camera in the Reagan administration, I feel like it was. They did a succession of power exercise. They wanted to make sure the system worked. In that succession of power exercise, he was playing the vice president. Donald Rumsfeld was playing Secretary of Defense. And then they ended up in exactly that position on the day that succession of power became a real serious question. Are we going to have to exercise this? But before that came to be, they verified that Bush Jr. was safe and let it go. Deep state, there's no one person in charge of deep state. It's not even a thing so much as a movement, all right? And it's a movement with no real leadership. It's kind of like the mafia without a Don. Here I am, I'm former petty officer. Guess what? I just swore myself back in, and I'm a petty officer again. Here I am. I know I want, candidate Smith to be from the Jones from the Smith party to be the next president. And I'm sitting on something that I know will help. I can let it out and it'll help him, or I can hold on to it and it'll help him. So I do what I have to do to make sure he gets elected, even though nobody ever told me to do it, and I might be violating orders. I'm going to tell you all the truth. Bradley Manning was more oh, fuck it, did it. Manning was more a deep state than most deep staters. Now, has Dick Cheney sat on shit that he knew? Yeah, we all know that. So have presidents and senators and former petty officer. Of course, that former petty officer doesn't actually know anything you couldn't eventually get from the internet if you knew what to look for. Um, I can talk about this now because I saw it on Jerry Micklick's channel. Certain body armors will stop 50 cals. He did that on camera. Nothing I can do to unring that bell. So there you go. Alpine Gulch. See, that's more proof he rules something big and secret. I don't know what it's called. It's secret. Well, yeah. That would mean I'm also deep state, bro. Think about that very carefully. About the only person I could say is not deep state is a certain letter of the alphabet who remains anonymous. All right, because he lets everything out that he can. Yeah, I'm going to talk about that just a moment. I think he is actually they, and from the way a couple of the things I've seen were the way they were written, I think one of them is a female, and I think she's the number two in the organization. The drops themselves, the tone, the language is all very masculine. Sometimes deeper details, and you will only see it a little bit like this or that sentence. Very feminine language, very feminine tone. Um, Now it's obvious that there's also, well, it's obvious that the letter is well, a guy or a very very masculine woman. Um, but yeah, it's a they, not a he or a she, but a they. The thoughts. I'm not deep state. I'm pretty shallow. Okay, you know what? That's not that's not a bad thing. Um, okay, so there's my letter of the alphabet that doesn't like to talk about his name, doesn't want to get doxxed. The anti-dox letter. We'll come up with something better. The moment I say that name, and just having said that, I probably will get it a little bit anyway. YouTube will totally yeet my channel. I'm gone faster than you can say it. And if you think I'm joking, Alpine Gulch, it's happened before. When you're certain size, you might get away with it, but smaller than me, well, even well, one's bigger than me. It's happened to them. Alpine Gulch. I'm a chick in 55. Um, Gulch, I don't know if you're fucking with me or serious. I'm totally fry here. So I don't understand this code talk. Sometimes you have to say things in ways that are not entirely clear so that a third party listening in, like, YouTube, will not necessarily catch what you're saying. As a matter of fact, I made a video of that. Learn to speak code. Um, if a certain Brit were in here right now and I started talking about having gotten your new belts, he would understand exactly what I was saying. Alpine Gulch, you have videos? I did not know. I'm going to fix that by midnight tonight. You will see something. I think Foss has seen me. I am not even going to question you on that. Um, so anyway, yeah, you learn to speak code, and code doesn't actually work by, A1, B2, C3, whatever the rest of the system is. Um, Actually, Alpine Gulch, I believe you follow Living History Comes Alive, right? So if I say, I'll see you at the chaplain's next service, well, who do I refer to as the chaplain? Drew. What's his next service? Every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And because of my work schedule, I always miss morning service, always catch evening service, or I often do. Because who's always late to service? This guy. Um, so yeah, I'll see you at the next service. See you at the chaplain's next service, right? Now you know next time I'm going to see you is next time Drew's live streaming. I'm going to back this up a little bit. DM Foss. We found each other on Instagram, right? I'll see you on the grams. Matter of fact, I need to go on the grams today and follow up, see how many unsubs I got. Right? He knows exactly where we're going to meet or where he's going to see me next. Okay, Alpine Gulch, craft beer pours and Kincaid Outdoors are a few. Yeah. Um. See, that's a code. Craft beers, craft beer pours and Kincaid Outdoors are a few. Um. Since I don't know what craft beer pours is, but can I guess it's maybe a channel? Because I'm that outsider, I don't know what you're talking about. I would never find it. Now, somebody who actually meant well for me once said of me, "You're too smart for your own good," and he's right. I could just laugh and say nothing because Senior Chief was right. I know he's right. You're too good for your own good. Yeah, I know. Um, Unfortunately, that same detail makes it so I understand craft beer pours is probably a channel or a video. DM Foss says, I think so. I think that's how we found each other. Uh, Alpine Gulch says, I'm on other channels, is the reference to See Me. Actually, I'm just going to go to your channel today and figure it out because I'm a lot smarter than the average bear. Um, so I can usually figure these things out. Like, I know Blair White's, I know what her old address is, but I will not do anything with that information because I found it out in ways that I'm not comfortable with knowing, which is really sad because I got a present to give her. It's a good present. All right. Um, her and Joey both. Uh, some of y'all would understand. See, there is no code for this. Um, Party favors. So I have a party favor for them that does not involve an illegal substance, but does involve something that I'm not going to discuss on YouTube. Q. Catch me on Discord, maybe we'll talk. Alpine Gulch says, the ones I mentioned above, not on my channel. Okay, so those are channels. See, I figured it out. I boomered it. Um, Boomered. Boomer is another one of those codes. It means somebody who's not very technologically adept, right? Do you say technophobe or do you say boomer, right? You say party favors or the thing you can't talk about on YouTube. It is not a gun. Party favors is not a gun. It's not a deadly weapon of any sort. All right. Original subject is election shenanigans. We're seeing the election literally being stolen by a foreign power. And not because YouTube doesn't like it, but because I believe it's true. I'm not talking about China, I'm not talking about Russia. So you know which one I'm talking about. Um, is China and Russia playing games? Yeah. We know Russia played games in 2016 They got called out on the map for it. You're taking money in rubles, bruh. The f is wrong with you? You didn't notice that? Oh, no, they actually didn't. Stupid ass. Arrogant. Not even stupid. He was just arrogant. He thought, I can actually get paid to do what I want to do, and nobody's ever going to care. Well, yeah, people cared. Good job. Um, this is not just meddling either. This is major level interference. Um, Tim Pool getting 5 ballots, and he's not the only one. The lady from Minnesota, I think it was, who got an R ballot envelope, and her brother got the D ballot envelope. Figure it out. I want to talk about another one. By now, you've seen the absolutely viral screenshot of the election worker bragging about destroying ballots. I'm going to tell you all the truth. I don't think he did. I don't think he was an election worker. I think he was a jack off joke on Instagram who thought, if I do this, there'll be election workers that will do it because they think they can get away with it too. That's the truth. I don't think he was an actual election worker because what he's setting up here is this idea that he's going to do these ballot destructions, put it on Instagram, even though it's a private account apparently, and nobody's going to notice. No, nobody in his election office is going to notice. No, somebody's going to notice that a member of the staff had his phone. Hey, give me your phone. What are you doing? And by the way, as an election official, they can go through your phone. They can go through your personal computer too. Your personal computer at home with your uh, selfies from, uh, your side chick or side dude. Yeah, they can go through that. That's how the member, the House of Representatives, the one who was forced to resign, that's how she got caught. Um, so I really don't think he was an actual election worker, but what he wanted was for everyone on earth to see this and think if they're an election worker, they can get away with it too. It's very, very dangerous precedent if anybody did follow his example, thinking they could get away with it too. And unfortunately, what this jackoff joke has done is reinforce that we have to literally have a camera pointed down at every election table from the moment it's opened to the moment those ballots are collated and counted. And then that camera's got to sit there watching those ballots for the next 3 months in case there's a recount or there's other irregularities come up. Congratulations. You actually did nothing. Hopefully nobody copied his bad example. Hey, Troll, you back? We're still going? If that was a question, the answer is yes. I generally run about 2 hours. We're at 1:15 now. Unless I just lost my connection. No, we're good. So yeah, election workers altering or destroying ballots as they're being counted. We do know that at least one election worker this year was busted for altering ballots. There were two or three a couple of years ago, one R and two Ds. And I'm going to say it, was an R who was busted for altering ballots. There was a couple of other Ds who were actually being investigated at the time the 1R went public. That's why most of you didn't hear about that. Oh, we've already got this other story that we can amplify the hell out of, make it look like Republicans are stealing elections while our two guys are doing it and got caught. What can we do about it? We need a top down or bottom up. I don't care which, or both. Restructuring the entire franchise system. And I'm just going to say this: that people talk about requiring ID to vote. Okay, well, DMV workers get busted all the time for creating fake driver's licenses. And I don't know about you, but I've never actually had my driver's license run by anyone who was not a cop. Right? That's the truth. I'm not even sure anybody other than a cop can run a driver's license in the field. So, how is this election worker supposed to verify the driver's license? I'm just saying, get rid of motor voter, period. And for lack of a better system, if you are a out of state voter, you have to go to your local sheriff, turn your ballot in to the box that says your state. Now I'm just going to say state because any further breakdown than that is just too complex to follow. Walk up to the counter that you say, Oregon in my case, take my driver's license, check it. This is really him. Run the ID, put my ballot into the Oregon slot. Boom, it's off and running. I'm going to catch up on those in a second. And big one, winner take all system. That is not part of the Constitution. I don't care if you're a constitutionalist or not. That is not and was never part of Constitution. They ran the election, the presidential elections, exactly the way the wording said for 3 or 4 terms, and then said, "No, this is too complicated. Let's do a winner take all system." It doesn't say that. That's illegal. It's illegal. And a big state like California is really jamming that up because they got those 55 votes. The reality is, last election cycle, I think Donnie was entitled to 33 of them. 33 out of 55. Maybe it was 32, somewhere around there. 30, right? Rightfully, 30 of those 55 votes were his. And they all went to Hillary instead. Now, does that flip around? Are there some states that went red that part of it should have gone to Hillary? Yeah. And just because I don't happen to know any of them off the top of my head, well, right now, Texas is 39, I think. 38 or 39. 10, 15 of them rightfully do belong to Joe. In those precincts, Joe actually did win. And rightfully, those 10, 15 are his, not Donnie's. But the way the system is set up, all of Texas's 39 went to Donnie, and all of California's 55 went to Joe. I actually learned something interesting yesterday. Nebraska is the only state that does not do winner take all. Nebraska is the only one that's doing it honestly. Fuck your feelings, that's the truth. All right, I'm going to catch up. Troll says, I don't trust electronic devices in general. Okay. I really distrust electronic voting. Gonna hit on that. Troll says, you know my opinion on ID. Put it on a pistol and require ID. I thought you were joking last time you said that. Boss says, years ago, someone stole the machine to make licenses from a DMV in Washington. That is very interesting. Driver's licenses. I thought you meant license plates there for a second, because those are actually made in a prison. I'm going to come back to that in a second. All right, let's start with electronic voting devices. No. All right. And by the way, for you leftists that are stalking this channel, I know you're there. When George Bush Jr. was in office, you people said libeled and accused Cheney of trying to rig elections. You can't turn around and say we love them now because they rigged our election. On that note, no, I don't like the electronic voting machines. I'm not that big a fan of the ATMs they were developed from either. Just saying. What is it? There's a movie from the 80s. Some chick figures out how to hack ATMs as they're being used, how to get the PIN number, and it's using one little piece of equipment. Oh, she realized it because her and her boyfriend were driving by in his car and they could hear the PIN number running. Right? Towards the end of the movie, there's some big conspiracy about a country trying to do this to the entire national economy. And if that doesn't ring a bell, there's explosives underneath the microchip or underneath the computer boards that she screams, "Stop!" And the guy jumps and hits his head, right? If any of this sounds familiar, please mention it in the comments. I'm looking for that movie. Uh, they're too easy to hack. Period. End of discussion. And you can't say in 2004 and 2006 and 2008 libeled and then turn around today and say, we love it. That's hypocritical and it's completely dishonest. Okay, DM Foss. Years ago, someone stole the machine to make licenses from a DMV in Washington. I vaguely remember this. I don't remember them ever figuring out who did it or how. And I cannot look you in the eye and say that that damage is contained because all you have to do is get that driver's license printed. Even if it won't register in a computer, you run the driver's license G1001771, run it through the computer and nothing. Doesn't exist. The only people who will ever catch you are cops. That's the way it is. Great Sky Troll. Troll, your pistol cannot be your only identification. Okay, that's not the way the world can work. Every time a cop demands your ID, you're pointing a gun at him. Come on, let's get a little more realistic. I hope I got Gulch. Who's stalking us? It's not us. It's actually me. And it's leftists who really, really hate the fact that I bash on a 4-letter country, a 3-letter word, and refuse to back down from this idea that you should be required to be able to defend yourself, which is absolutely insane. Matter of fact, I'm surprised he hasn't shown up today. Oh, Great Sky Troll says blue blue breathing libtards show up and troll mandatory. I think it's kind of cute when the left meme. The left can't meme, bruh. Um, Info says never heard anything about it again. He's referring to the uh, machine. They probably stole it and threw it away when they realized they couldn't do anything with it, or they had specific clientele in mind, and then they tossed it in the Columbia River. Okay. Great Sky Troll says, I doubt they'll ID so much. I assume he means cops. And hey, if you're smart about it, you could run with this fake ID for the next 5, 6 years. Just don't give it to a cop. It's not that hard. And then, if you're confronted by a cop, you give him your real ID. All right. So, all right. This is my real driver's license. And let's see what I got in here. Like pretend is a second one. All right. So, this is a Walmart card. But this is my Alabama, because it starts with L, or A rather. This is my Alabama driver's license, but it's not real. And it literally says mandatory carry, and it's got my little picture on it. Right? I show this to a clerk to buy alcohol because I'm 17. I show it to a salesman at a gun store. I show it to this. I show it to that. He's just going to run those numbers, and when it comes back clean, the gun store clerk is just going to run the numbers, and when it doesn't come back to anything, you're free to go. Here's your gun and go. That has happened. Now, if I show this fake ID to a cop, he runs those numbers. They always run the numbers, right? He's going to say there's something wrong here. And I'll tell you how true that is. I had an old California driver's license in my wallet. I had my new Oregon ID, or driver's license rather, in my wallet. I accidentally pulled the old California out, handed it to him. He ran it. He comes back. Who are you? So I gave him the right one. He ran it. You know you're supposed to turn this in. Yeah, I know. I was just holding on to it while I got my new one. My bad. Totally my bad. I know it. Cop runs this one, which is real, will know who I am. And now all of my guns are tied to this fake ID. You think that hasn't happened before? One of my C stories involves a girl from the United States who slapped one of my shipmates. She was running on her sister's ID. Now, her assault and battery is tied to her sister. That has happened before. Okay, let me catch up on this. So yeah, troll cops will run your ID each and every time. Everybody else is a little bit looser about it. Troll says, nah, a bunch of Chinese folks are showing up with artificial real IDs. I'm sure. I'm absolutely sure. I'm not going to repeat that, but there's a four-letter foreigner, according to Alpine. You know, I don't go there. All right. I don't give a flying fuck if you're white, black, Asian, Middle Eastern, uh, South American, Australian, fucking green Martian. Okay? I don't give a shit about any of that. I don't care if you're gay or you're straight or you don't know what you are or you both or something else. I don't give a fuck about any of that either. Do you think Omar Mateen, yeah, y'all made me do it. Do you think Omar Mateen went and checked to see what's between people's legs? Do you think he checked what kind of prayer book they had in their back pocket? No. He just stormed in and started shooting everybody. He didn't give a he did not only did he not give a fuck, their only crime was being inside that building at that time. So I don't care. Just be gay, be straight, be both, be something else, be a boy, be a girl for now. Uh, you know, I don't care if you pray 3 times a day or you pray once every 2 years like I do. I barely qualify as religious. And I am a shining example of everything you want to not be as a Christian. All right. I'm the perfect example. Everything I do the exact opposite as a Christian. Okay. I was a little bit mad there for a second, guys. As the Penguin once put it, everybody is the same once they've been skinned alive. We're all pink once we've been skinned alive. Troll says 20,000 real fake IDs were picked up like March being shipped out to Asia. This is the first time hearing of that. Troll, you know where to find me. Can you send me that link? Very much want to look into that. Oh, some were already used at least once. Okay, again, Troll, you know where to find me. I want to talk to you about that. I'd like to voice that one. Okay, I really want to know more about that story. Troll also says, I actually prefer Martians. Mork was cool. Mindy was a total tease. Yeah. Wow. We're old. Rest in peace, Robin. Okay. Jim G, hey, bro, home for a late lunch. Okay, cool. You just missed me ranting about religion and racism and sexism and homophobia. Even though I'm a homophobe myself, I'm sorry, supposedly I'm not because I don't want to punish people for in various ways for being homosexual. I just don't care. Don't hit on me. But supposedly that's not homophobia because it doesn't count. Whatever. Fuck you. Um. So yeah, you missed that rant, and you missed my mm, heavily interrupted rant about the election. So tonight, when you get home, go back and watch the rest of it at 2 times speed. Spare yourself some time. Oh, okay. Great Troll says this flying spaghetti monster believes in you. You're still flying spaghetti monster. Hi, Total. I know I've seen you in a live chat before. Once. Of course, there hasn't been that many. You too missed my don't be a it and don't be like me as a Christian rants. Um, Troll says he'll see if he can dig it up. I'd really appreciate it. Try your search history bar. It might turn up that way. Gulch says, host, you said the clue was a 4-letter foreign country, not race, not ethnicity, not tribe. Country. It starts with I. You haven't heard my rants about that particular country? I'm going to include some links in the pinned comment below after this is done so y'all can go back and see me really spurred. Trying to solve the puzzle. That's why I said that Arab. Yeah, no, I didn't give a fuck about that. Um, Total Control 871 says, I don't want to punish you for being straight. I'd rather you didn't either. Ah, Troll must have been taking notes from my previous books because he says, sounds funnier in double speed. Everything sounds funnier in double speed, first of all. Second of all, this 2 hour shit post will only take 1 hour. I'm just saying. Uh, Total Control asks, what are your thoughts on what are your thoughts on loss of securing voting machines? Of secure voting machines. I wasn't aware there was any secure voting machines, to be honest with you. I know they've been hacked. All right, that's not even a secret at this point. Why do we keep going back to something that we've proven doesn't work? Give you all an example. How many of you would install a steam engine in your car? All right, I want to see some Y's and N's in the comments, and then I'm going to come back to you. Let's wait until I get 3 or 4. All right, I want to hear all of you who would install a steam engine in your car. Give me a yes or a Y in the chat. This Foss says Carrie doesn't care for the I place. No, I want it. If it takes literally nuking this piece of dirt off the face of the earth to end the threat that its leaders present, fine. I'm perfectly okay with that. And if that means that nobody else has nuclear weapons for a couple of years, that's unfortunate. We'll fix it later. It's not the people I hate. It's the leadership of that country. And if it takes killing everything and removing this piece of dirt from the face of the earth and turning it into a sea, so be it. You know, we nuked Hiroshima and Nagasaki. The emperor wasn't even in those cities, was he? It's unfortunate that a lot of Japanese civilians were killed and permanently uh, injured and disfigured and everything else that came out of that. But it ended the threat, didn't it? So, so be it. Um, Troll says there's no such thing as secure machines. Jim G says no more BS voter IDs on verifiable ballots. I went over that. You would have to walk it into a sheriff's office. And to be honest, I'm okay with that. Alpine Gulch says yes. DM Foss says no, I don't want to blow up. I assume that means to steam engines. Great Sky Troll says depends on how bored I am. I'll go steampunk if she's hot enough. Great Sky Troll says, I ran away from the subject. I'm not allowed to talk about that subject. I already got in trouble twice now. Jim G says, my father saw Hiroshima a month after nuking them. Yeah, I believe you. Alpine Gulch says, nukes are fun. We need more plants. I'm not even sure. Oh, power plants. Okay. And Total Control. Sorry. Total Control says bots are going to put Biden in office. And Jim G says nukes are pretty. I love mushroom clouds. I hate mushrooms. So that's just me. All right. So I got one yes and one no to steam engines, and one maybe. Here's the secret about the steam engines. Yes, they do work. the Stanley Steamer of the carpet cleaner company, they started out, amongst other things, making steam engines for automobiles. And then the internal combustion, or actually electric, and then internal combustion engine came along, and they got out of that business because it was just anti-profitable. A steam engine could work in an automobile, it just isn't efficient and it isn't that powerful. You go like 20 miles an hour. And if you're okay with that, great. Until you read about the Sultana. Um, who was it that said that? I think it was Troll. No, it was Foss. Nailed it. I don't want to blow up. Steam engine, if it even has the tiniest little defect, can blow up. The Sultana was a riverboat. I think she was 70-ish feet long. At the end of the Civil War, she was moving Union prisoners of war north, but back up. Because there's a little bit more that you didn't hear. The day before she got underway with this huge and highly profitable load of former POWs being repatriated, she was boarded and her steam engines were inspected. Or maybe it was a couple days before, whatever. Steam engine uh, had a crack of some sort. Now, I don't know what that crack was. The master of the boat had patched it. He promised the inspection guys that he was going to take her up to Chicago, meaning half power or low power, to get that damaged boiler repaired. I think it was somewhere in the second night of her northbound voyage, the entire ship exploded. They found parts of that ship a mile away from one of the steam boilers exploding. So, yeah, it was actually more men killed on the Sultana explosion than everybody killed on the Titanic combined. A little bit of history you never heard about because everybody was already weary from the war. Gets one little blurb, I think in a Chicago newspaper, and that's it. Nobody hears about it again for years. Okay. So, yeah, that's it could work. But are you going to do it now, guys? Might work as a home power plant, but I wouldn't recommend that either. Okay, total control. Bots are going to put Biden in office. You might be right. That is a real possibility. Jim G says nukes are pretty. I love mushroom clouds. I hate mushrooms in general. I want to go back up. Alpine Gulch. There we go. Nukes are fun. We need more power plants. I'm not opposed to building new nuclear power plants. There you go. And yes, I know there's dangers. All right. I'm not quite old enough to remember 3 Mile Island. I am quite old enough to remember Chernobyl. This is not Chernobyl. All right. This is not Russia. And even Chernobyl was not quite Chernobyl. Chernobyl was 3 guys not paying attention to their job, and they're dead now. There you go. Troll said, nukes. Good tan, and my teeth have never been whiter. Pretty sure that's a Fallout reference. A Fallout 2 reference. Biden is a piece of dried up dog shit setting in the sun. Jim is so kind. Dried up dog shit doesn't smell as bad as what that is. Alpine Gulch thought that was funny, and it's true. Well, Alpine Gulch thought something was funny, and probably is. Great Sky Troll says any malfunction of any type ends up in a boom with steam. Yeah, actually, yeah. DM Foss, I would run a wood gas engine in a car. Hey, I know what TV series you watched back around 2005, don't I? I really want to build that thing too. It's a bomb! Yeah, it's not a bomb, but it's not making gas. Great Sky Troll probably saw that same series. I helped build a wood gas tractor. I sure it's just wood gas. It's not that special. All right. You can run a tractor, you can run a car, you can run an improvised generator. Just saying. You could run a steam, not a steamship, but a major uh, uh, freighter. You know, those great big, like 3,000 and 4,000 foot long ocean going freighters. You can produce enough wood gas to keep it running. Produce enough wood gas to keep it running. What's the problem? Um, okay. Jim G says 70 million people did not vote for a corrupt traitor's Alzheimer's patient. Okay, that might explain something on Discord that I saw that confused me. I'm not buying it. And actually, I'm going to include a link in the description to Exiled Princess's video on this subject. She thinks that there was a watermark on the new ballots, and I think maybe not watermark, but I think that's what she meant was a mark of some sort on ballots. That if you knew what to look for and where to look for it, like that, you would know, is this ballot real or fake? Or was it produced before such and such date, in which case it's invalid? Anyway, um, you know what? I think she might be right. Some of y'all won't like her because she's Muslim. I like her, Muslim or not. Um, ooh, 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 damn it, damn it, damn it. I'm sorry, guys. Okay. Great Sky Troll says it's still sitting behind his barn, so I assume he meant the wood gas tractor. Um, Total Control says I travel by bicycle. You know what? I do too. When it's under 5 miles, I try to use my bike. And my bike is equipped with an electric motor, which is somewhat hypocritical of me, and I don't care. I am not going to start my car engine and burn up 3 miles worth of gas getting the engine started, or half a mile, or whatever the hell it is, to go 5 miles, shut down, do it all over again, get home. When I could ride the bike and get that far that fast, or just a few minutes slower. I have driven 2 miles with milk in southern Oklahoma weather, summer weather, on my bike with the electric motor, no problem. When I got home, it still had frost marks on it. All right, I'm perfectly fine with the speed of the bike. Oh shoot, shoot, shoot! Sorry, guys. I swear I'm not going to ever deliberately ignore anybody. Troll says it's just a bit finicky, and the overburden of dry wood was the problem. Okay. Troll says that the tractor that he converted was a bit finicky, and the overburden of dry wood was the problem. That's interesting. I'm actually legitimately confused. Dry wood should be the what you want, but okay. Um, Jim, I had to replace my generator. I got one that runs on gas and propane. You can get one that runs on gas and propane. Do it. My dad has one. Saved his life a couple times. Great Sky Troll anti-drama. I'm pretty sure he's not being sarcastic here. Says, and Kyle Rittenhouse did nothing wrong. And Kyle Rittenhouse did nothing wrong. Epstein didn't kill himself. Go InfoWars. What are the other ones that you weren't allowed to say a couple? Oh, Heal Light actually will probably save lives. At least give it a shot, you flying. That's one of the words I'm not allowed to say that rhymes with forget. Assholes at YouTube. Fuck you, Davey Alba. Are the other ones? I'll figure it out later. If y'all give me some hints, I'll go with it. Sharpie Gate is a thing. Isotope Mark. I think Great Sky Troll was referring to those ballot marks, which I don't know. I don't know how they did it, but it's really possible that they marked these in a way either that you can't find or today you wouldn't know to look. Everybody knows to look for watermarks. It's a pretty common thing. Nobody knows to look for microdots. An isotope dot, is that what he called it? Isotope mark? I assume that means that they put just a tiny little bit of some sort of radiologically active substance, not radioactive, not dangerous, but radiologically active substance. They can run it under a machine. And if that machine says, I did not detect any radiation, this is a fake ballot, throw it away. Sharpie Gate. Oh, my bad. Jim G asks who, and I'm sorry, I lost it. I lost who I'm referring. Oh, unless you mean Exile Princess, I'm going to put the link in the description. Troll is actually explaining to me isotope mark. It's invisible to the naked eye without some tools. Gee, wonder if I might have thought of that. Troll says, I'm in the middle of a tiny town. Mostly I walk. Yeah. And Troll again. Yay, he didn't have a plan for the used wood chips after gasification. Turns out they don't burn great without a lot of air blowing at it, which is dangerous in and of itself, so he mothballed it. You're right. That's just a bad situation to be in altogether. See if you can find a local Society for Creative Anachronisms chapter. Ask them if they have a blacksmith. Blacksmiths love coal, especially hardwood coals. They mix it into metal or into iron to turn it into steel and other harder substances. So you might be able to get that tractor back up and running. Total control. Crates of ballots will be found months from now. Don't, please, let's just get it over with now. All right, we know it's a rigged election at this point. Can we just get this execution over with? Do I have to pull the trigger myself? I'm standing here with my hands tied behind my back to the pole and the blindfold and the cigarette and everything else. Do I have to turn around and pull the trigger as well? Do I have to pull the lever on the trapdoor of my hanging myself? Do I have to do this myself? Because you know what? The hood over my head makes it really hard to see the lever. Let's just hurry up and get this thing over with so we can start cleaning up the mess. All right, I've been going 2 hours. I'm gonna almost 2 hours. I'm gonna go about 10 more minutes, but I think we're gonna wrap it up right about here. This election was rigged starting well, it's 2000 now, it's 2020. At least starting 20 years ago, this election has slowly been getting rigged and rigged and rigged. Um, the loss 4 years ago to Trump showed that the rigging system was badly damaged. They've repaired whatever went wrong, or as much of it as they can at this point. Four-letter word and all behind it. Um, be ready for the next 4 years. I'm going to say this: Biden's going to be the next president. As much as I hate that, he will be the next president, and he will do absolutely nothing about the riots. All right, he will encourage it. One of my videos from I think 2 months ago, the thumbnail is "I'm Joe Biden and I approve these riots," and he's going to. He will never come out and say, "I want the people of Washoe County to riot for Black Lives Matter," but he will do absolutely nothing about them, and you will see cities burn to the ground. That is the next 4 years. If Donnie had won, we would have seen it for 2 weeks. Maybe 2 weeks, maybe just 1 week. That's when Donnie would have said, "Nope, I'm done. I've let you guys get away with this shit for the last 4 years. No more. Send the National Guard in." And I've seen it work before. I'm old enough to remember the King riots and the National Guard going in. Tell me I don't know it'll work. But now we're looking at 4 years of it, coast to coast. And for 4 years, the light on the hill is going to be gone. It's going to be out, a light. And we all have to step in and start saying, "No, we're done. We don't want any more of this bullshit." Okay, let me catch up with the chat real quick. Jim says, "I figure 20 to 30 million fraudulent votes in this banana republic we used to call America." Around that, somewhere in there, sure. Total Control says, "New World Order forced vaccinations." Yeah, well, you'll never take me alive. You. And I don't like needles. Gold says, "Trump is going to win." Well, that will be a legit. They won't see it. For what it's worth, I hope the miracle happens, but that's just me. Jim G says, "I think Trump will prevail, but our vote has to be verified from now on." You ain't whistling Dixie, bro. Total Control. Cops too busy arresting law-abiding citizens for not wearing face masks. Fuck you and your face masks. I mean, oh, first of all, I can't wear a face mask because of the asbestos. I can actually feel it. It's right here. Whatever it is right here, and it is not my heart because it hurts all the time. Right? When I've been running a little bit, the spot doesn't hurt any more or less. And my heart feels good. So there you go. King, Sky Troll. "I'll be on my swamp island, avoiding all of you. Nothing personal. Just fish farm and fix my boat." Um, Total Control. Donnie himself bowed nothing McCain. You know what? That's kind of true. All right. Donnie is an asshole. Period. There's no reconciling this. He is an asshole. Great Sky Troll said, "Two words that I cannot say on YouTube are considered home defense. Get your own now." I disavow the first two words because they will yeet my channel in a heartbeat for that. Jim says fish farm and fuck sounds great. They're also four-letter words. Just saying. Great Sky Troll says I reserve my right to be recognized. Lol. Okay. All right. Troll, I know you know where to find me. So catch me uh there. We need to talk. I really do want that, but I want to talk to you about some related subjects within it. All right, we've been going 2 hours. Let's kind of wrap this up, I guess. No masks, no madness, no more bank robberies. Dude, it's illegal to wear a mask into a bank, but you can't go into a bank without the mask. What's, what is literally stopping me from just putting on a mask and going in everywhere and robbing them? Don't be stupid. Social distancing, the 6 foot rule actually does work. It works a little too well to judge from what's happening in a certain country that I cannot name in relationship to Charlie One Niner, but I can tell you that their flag is a big plus. After I sell this, Jim G says, after I sell this place behind enemy lines, I will go to West Virginia, mountain property to die, property to die free. Um, Jim, do you have a way to reach me other than YouTube? I'd love to talk your ear off about something related to that. Great schedule. It's illegal to be in public wearing a mask in Georgia. It's on the books. Halloween? Jim G. Heavy flow like 10 gallons a second. Um, oh, I'm sorry. It has a year-round natural spring. Heavy flow like 10 gallons a second. I can see what the attraction there is. Troll, I have yet to wear a mask. I have yet to fight. Jim, oh. Ah. Wait, Jim, I am not ignoring you. Okay. Delete it. I got it. Oh, that's right. You can delete it, but I can still see it. You can delete it all you want. Ah, Jim says generate power too. Yeah. Is it enough to run a household though, Jim? Um. Okay, guys. Uh, Alpine Gulch, been fun seeing y'all. Yeah, you're welcome to come back. Unlike somebody else that we all saw last time. Yeah. 10 gallons a second is pretty close. Where was I? Keep calm, mandatory carry on, and in the comments after the live stream, I'd love to hear suggestions about what you think I should do next time because dun, 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 I'm going to try to do this once a week, Thursday mornings. Let's see how on time I can be. I was actually like an hour late today because yeah. So yeah, take it easy, control, totes, totes, take it easy. Voss, gotta go. Baby just woke up. Go take care of the baby. Jim, take it easy. Troll is giving Jim engineering comments, which I'm not in a position to question. So, Jim, I hope you caught that. Might be useful information. Um, Troll, guys, take it easy. And I'm being told that I need to wrap it up right about now. Keep calm and mandatory carry on, guys.